Rather than keeping all the attention for herself, Caitlin Clark willingly shared the moment when Sophie Cunningham proudly revealed her brand new Adidas player-exclusive shoe, creating an exciting and memorable highlight for everyone watching.
Adidas and Damian Lillard. Where's Electric Pink?
Sophie Cunningham?
I'm busy.
Instead of offering only a simple congratulations, Caitlin Clark urged millions of fans to support her teammates' new release. Yet rather than receiving praise, both players quickly became the focus of another online controversy. Critics questioned whether Sophie Cunningham had truly earned the opportunity, while others blamed Clark for giving her too much attention. However, the reality is far more compelling than the headlines suggest. Behind this launch is a story of loyalty, friendship, smart business strategy, and a timeline that completely reshapes the conversation. Let's take a closer look at what really unfolded. This was never just another shoe release. Begin with the key facts because they matter far more than all the surrounding noise. On July 24th, Adidas introduced the Crazy Energy Sophie Cunningham PE, featuring a pink-to-gradient design, light blue mesh panels, orange midsole accents, a subtle wave logo, and a custom illustration of Cunningham hidden inside the insole. The shoe retails for $120 and is available through Adidas.com and select retailers, including Hibbett, where Cunningham appeared in person in Romeoville, Illinois, from 1 to 3 p.m. to celebrate the launch. Here's the detail that truly turns this into a major story instead of a routine product release. This marks the first WNBA player-exclusive shoe Adidas has released since Candace Parker, not since last season, and not even just a few years ago.
Let's talk about this Candace Parker collection. We're here in Chicago at the launch event. Tell me what went into it and the inspiration behind it.
Rather than following in just anyone's footsteps, Sophie Cunningham is now joining the company of Candace Parker, one of the most accomplished players the WNBA has ever produced. That did not happen because a marketing team randomly picked her name. So why would Adidas pass over an entire generation of All-Stars and MVPs to spotlight a reserve player averaging around 9 points per game? Because scoring was never the measurement that mattered most. Adidas creates player-exclusive releases based on cultural influence, not simply statistics, and Cunningham has spent the past year building exactly that kind of presence. A viral moment that reached well beyond basketball, a steadily growing podcast, an audience that continues expanding, and a personality perfectly suited for the attention a player-exclusive shoe is designed to attract. Cunningham's edition is not even the first Crazy Energy player-exclusive from Adidas. Las Vegas guard Chelsea Gray and Oklahoma City's Jalen Williams both previously wore colorways of the same silhouette, placing Cunningham alongside respected athletes already trusted by the brand. She was not handed a brand new model as a special favor, but added to a lineup Adidas already believed could represent it well. Her journey also developed gradually. Just over a year ago, Cunningham was wearing $45 Adidas sneakers during regular games like many other players. A month later, she appeared in a campaign promoting the Adidas Daymax. Now she has her own colorway carrying her name. That is not a partnership that suddenly appeared because a superstar teammate made one phone call. It is the result of a relationship that steadily grew through consistent appearances over the course of about a year. Yet that is exactly what some online critics refuse to acknowledge. The backlash began as soon as the announcement became public, with people calling it forced, labeling it favoritism, and arguing that a player with her scoring average should not receive a player-exclusive colorway. That reaction is worth considering because it exposes how selective some criticism can be. Few people react this strongly when an NBA role player lands a shoe deal. The outrage surfaced only because this situation involved someone connected to Caitlin Clark's locker room, suggesting the debate was never truly about basketball standards. There is also an important distinction that actually strengthens Cunningham's case. What she received is a player-exclusive, not a completely new signature shoe built specifically around her. And that matters because most player-exclusive releases never even reach retail shelves. Many athletes across different sports have personal colorways that remain exclusive, worn only by the player and never released for fans to purchase. By choosing to launch Cunningham's version with a public release, a special event, and a full retail rollout, Adidas made a clear investment in the belief that fans would actively buy products connected to her name. Companies simply do not make that kind of commitment without expecting genuine demand. The timing also matches a much larger shift happening throughout the sneaker industry. Nike's recent success with signature shoes for several WNBA stars has already shown there is strong consumer interest in player-focused basketball sneakers from the league, something that barely existed on this scale just a few years ago. Adidas is not gambling on a possible trend, but responding to one that is already well established. And selecting Cunningham as an athlete worth investing in says plenty about where the company sees real commercial potential. None of this is difficult to understand, and it does not require diminishing anyone else in the league. Adidas evaluated a full year of momentum, a viral moment, a steadily growing audience, a personality that connects with fans, and a history of representing the brand before deciding the investment made business sense. That was not a favor, but a calculated business decision backed by months of evidence. And that evidence existed long before Caitlin Clark publicly mentioned the release. So why did Clark decide to shine a spotlight on it? Simply reposting the announcement would have been enough to support a teammate, but she went much further. Clark praised the design on camera, spoke positively about it during interviews without being prompted, and encouraged fans to check it out as soon as it became available. That kind of public support is uncommon because many superstars prefer to protect their own brand. Clark explained her reason in her own words, saying, "The thing I appreciate about Sophie more than anything is she's never intimidated by the moment. She rises to the occasion every single time. She's going to have her teammates' backs no matter what the situation is. Whether we're down 20 or up 20, it's the same Sophie. She's fierce, she's fiery, and she's going to do anything to help our team win. I really appreciate that about her." Those are not the words of a carefully manufactured public relations moment. They reflect someone who has genuinely relied on a teammate and repeatedly watched her deliver when it mattered most. Their connection stretches back to 2024, when Cunningham joined the Fever as Clark entered the league as a rookie.
Caitlin Clark has been named WNBA Rookie of the Year, the #1 overall pick. Didn't only break rookie records in her first year in the W.
Long before the spotlight grew even brighter, Caitlin Clark was absorbing hard fouls and physical play almost every night, while the league was still adjusting to protecting a player attracting that much attention. During that stretch, Sophie Cunningham became the veteran who made it clear no one was getting a free shot at her teammate. That protection soon developed into a genuine friendship built through real experiences, not staged photo opportunities. Cunningham also did not arrive in Indiana by chance. She was part of a major off-season overhaul, added specifically for the defensive intensity, floor spacing, and toughness the Fever wanted around their rookie point guard. A front office does not bring in a veteran with that exact skill set without expecting her to fill that role, but no one could have predicted how quickly the basketball fit would become true personal loyalty. That bond reached a defining moment in June when Cunningham confronted Phoenix's Dana Bonner during an on-court incident involving Clark, pointing at her for 22 straight seconds and refusing to back down until staff members escorted her away. The clip spread far beyond basketball fans, reaching wrestling accounts, meme pages, and political commentary channels as people watched one teammate fiercely defend another. Clark has publicly said she will never forget Cunningham standing up for her in front of a packed arena and a national audience. When someone shows that level of loyalty, supporting her player-exclusive shoe launch becomes the easy part. Clark is also expected to receive her own signature shoe in the future, making the moment even more meaningful. It is worth recognizing how uncommon this kind of reaction is in professional sports, where players are usually taught to leave confrontations to coaches and officials. Cunningham never waited for a whistle or someone else to step in. She immediately placed herself between her teammate and the situation without hesitation, a response that felt completely instinctive rather than carefully planned. That kind of loyalty cannot be manufactured for a highlight reel, and it is exactly the kind of commitment many players talk about, but rarely get the chance to truly demonstrate. That loyalty was never built overnight, which is exactly why it carries so much meaning inside the locker room. Cunningham's first season with Indiana was interrupted by a torn MCL, leaving her clutching her leg and needing help from teammates as she exited the court. It was the kind of setback that could have completely stalled a player trying to establish herself in a new system. Even so, she returned, bringing the defensive intensity, floor spacing, and physical toughness the Fever needed, while becoming the experienced veteran Clark relied on most during the toughest stretches of a rookie season, unlike anything the rest of the roster faced. A teammate who battles through a serious injury and still steps in to protect Clark is far more than a supporting figure in this story. She became one of the people who helped make everything else possible. Then came the backlash few expected. As soon as Clark began actively promoting the shoe, part of the internet reacted harshly. Critics labeled it forced, dismissed it as a marketing stunt, claimed Cunningham did not deserve the release, and argued Clark was only supporting it because they were friends. The criticism intensified each time Clark mentioned it, revealing who this situation was really frustrating. Shifting the focus to Cunningham's scoring average became the centerpiece of the criticism. Many questioned why a player averaging around 9 points per game deserved a player-exclusive colorway, while others with longer resumes had never received one. It is a fair question to ask, but the frustration is aimed at the wrong target. Adidas has never built player-exclusive releases on statistics alone. Across professional sports, role players have landed shoe deals because of personality, marketability, and the unique attention they generate, not simply because they lead their teams in scoring. Cunningham's opportunity is not an exception to that formula, but proof that the system is working exactly as intended. The backlash becomes even harder to justify because Clark did not create Cunningham's viral moment or the audience she built. She simply supported a teammate who had already earned the opportunity instead of guarding her own spotlight. Calling that favoritism suggests Clark should be less supportive simply because her influence is greater, even though she has previously faced criticism for not doing enough to promote the players around her. Looking at the situation from another angle makes the reaction even more revealing. If Clark had stayed silent and never mentioned Cunningham's launch, many of the same critics likely would have accused the league's biggest star of ignoring her teammates and caring only about her own brand. That suggests the issue was never truly about fairness, but about the influence Clark's endorsement carries whenever she chooses to elevate someone else. That is not the result of one player's generosity, but of a franchise developing star power in multiple spots, while its players choose to support each other instead of competing for attention. Cunningham earned her place through recovering from a torn MCL, creating a viral moment, and steadily growing her personal brand. Clark's endorsement simply helped more people notice when the opportunity finally arrived. At its core, the story is much simpler. Cunningham battled back from a serious knee injury, established herself on a contending roster, and built enough recognition to earn a shoe deal through her own work. She is not a charity case benefiting from a famous teammate, but a professional whose progress is clear to anyone willing to follow the full timeline instead of reacting to headlines. Compare that journey with how most player-exclusive and signature shoe deals develop across professional sports, and her path looks far more typical than unusual. Injury, recovery, a breakthrough moment that reaches a wider audience, steady brand building, and finally a company willing to invest in the athlete's name. Remove Clark from the equation entirely, and that sequence still looks like an earned opportunity in almost any setting. The only thing that truly changed the conversation was who happened to be standing beside Cunningham when the announcement became public. More than the shoe itself, the bigger story is what this entire moment reveals about Caitlin Clark as a teammate. In nearly every sport, superstars carefully protect their personal brand, keeping endorsements and public support focused on themselves. Clark chose a different path. She repeatedly used her platform to celebrate the people around her, because she genuinely wants them to succeed, even knowing some critics would turn that support into another controversy. That decision costs her very little, but gives Cunningham exactly what a major launch needs: attention. Clark's influence is not a small gesture. It carries enormous commercial value that brands actively chase, and she willingly shared a meaningful portion of it with a teammate without being asked. What does it say about a locker room when its biggest star uses her platform to elevate others instead of guarding it? It points to a team built on genuine trust, where moments like these happen naturally rather than through careful planning. As the July 24th release arrived, comment sections quickly filled with people choosing sides and debating the story. None of that is likely to slow either player down. Cunningham has spent the past year proving she does not need anyone's permission to matter, while Clark has shown just as consistently that supporting the teammates who stand beside her is not a distraction from her own success, but one of the best uses of her spotlight. There is also a broader lesson in all of this. Teams do not develop this level of chemistry by accident, and stars rarely share their platform so openly unless the trust behind it is genuine. Clark could easily focus only on her own endorsements, headlines, and growing list of accomplishments while letting teammates compete for whatever attention remained. Instead, she continues choosing to lift them up, and that decision will keep benefiting players like Cunningham long after the conversation around one shoe release fades. The discussion also brings renewed attention to WNBA player Sophie Cunningham, who later stated, "I want to protect young girls in a locker room." In the end, a superstar willing to share her spotlight with the people around her helps create a locker room built on loyalty instead of jealousy. And that kind of trust often appears when a team needs it most. No matter what happened on July 24th, the two moments fans are most likely to remember were already secured long before the online debate reached its peak. One was 22 unforgettable seconds of a teammate refusing to back down on national television. The other was a superstar using her own platform to publicly return that loyalty. Everything else, the comment sections, the arguments about scoring averages, and the accusations of favoritism, was simply background noise surrounding two teammates who stood by each other when it truly mattered. Those two moments defined this entire story, and neither one needed manufactured hype to leave a lasting impact. Sophie Cunningham never needed Caitlin Clark's permission to matter, and Clark never needed anyone's approval to say it out loud. That is the real story behind the shoe release. If you think Sophie Cunningham earned this opportunity, be sure to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you never miss the next big moment from this Fever team.